shot put where you have to push it, and in javelin where you have to throw the javelin from over the shoulder. In discus, the whole idea is just to get the discus within the sector lines. That means you can throw it overarm, you can throw it sidearm, you can throw it underarm. You can even throw it like a frisbee. But the best technique to learn is slinging. We actually encourage, especially beginners, to start throwing underarm. Because from that underarm movement, you then start getting higher and higher and higher and bring the arm up into a slinging movement. The first thing we need to teach them is how the discus sits in our hand. And I always use this story, and this is how I say it. Everyone show me your throwing hand. You have 5 shy but very nosy kids. You have Huey, Louie, Bluey, Dewey, and Steve. Now your kids are shy and very nosy, so what they want to do is stick their heads up over the fence and rest their heads on it just like this. Just like that, they rest their heads on it. They don't climb over the fence, they just want to stick their heads up over the fence and rest their heads on it. Now poor old Steve is the shyest one of the lot, and now Steve stays hidden. So once you've got that group, it's now easy to introduce them to that underarm throw, because all they need to do is put their arms by their side and have their fingers sitting underneath. But you have to remember the whole time, go try and hide that thumb. A little hint that I use is I always say that thumb is pointing to where I'm going to throw it. It's always pointing to where I'm going to throw it. So your stance is the same as it would be in shot put. You have your opposite foot in front. Your feet about shoulder width apart. Now your front foot, make sure it's not butted up right against the ring. You want to make sure you're a little bit behind it so your foot has room to swivel. Now the rule in discus, as the same as shot put, is you can still come in from any direction, but you have to go from out the back. So as you can see, I've put a cone there. Again, a good thing to teach the kids or the athletes is to go in through the back door and out through the back door. I know a lot of centres will use a cone to remind them. Some centres actually get the kids to touch the back of the cage as they're going in and touch the back of the cage once they've left. So in those 3 examples, you would have seen a couple of things. You would have seen it transitioning from an underarm to a little bit higher to up, with your throwing arm up nice and high. You would have seen a couple of different ways of entering and exiting the circle, touching the cone or touching the fence. Once you're in the circle and you're side on, what you want to make now is a discus sandwich. Start off in this discus sandwich position, throwing hands on top, and the other hand is just stopping the discus from falling out. Say you want to go from a discus sandwich to a helicopter or helicopter blades, just like this. I always say helicopter blades because you want your arms nice and high. So from that helicopter blade movement, you also want to start doing a little bit of a washing machine movement. So I normally say a helicopter washing machine, which adds a little bit of a twist to it. The discus roll out of your hand and trying to make it roll off the pointer. Off your pinky is okay when it comes out the back of the hand, but definitely won't go as far. You want to try and make it roll off your pointer. Kids and even yourselves can practice this at the park where you don't have to use a proper discus. And some of the activities we use for discus is using a hoop, using a foxtail, or making your own foxtail out of a pair of socks. You can even put a target out there to try to hit. So a couple of things to remember when it comes to technique. The first thing is making sure that when they're throwing, that they're very relaxed, that they're not tight or tense, they're nice and relaxed. You want to make sure that they finish up tall, turning at the hips. And the last one is making sure that as they release and they throw, that they look over their arm, not scooping underneath. You want to make sure their arms are long and they're looking over the top of it. Don't forget, all these tips can be found on our website with our event fact sheets. Also, check out our YouTube channel where you can find playlists such as our Little Athletics at Home videos, where kids can practice their athletics at home using modified equipment that they can make themselves. We also have videos with coach interviews and how-to videos as well. Well everyone, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you feel a lot more confident in helping out Little Athletics, but just remember a couple of things. Go out there, give it a go, but more importantly, be your best. And of course, if you have any questions, feel free to send us an email or give us a call at the Little Athletics office.